have Natalia Secheva, Senior Manager of Entrepreneurship and Special Projects, Kimberly James, and Project Managers of Entrepreneurship, and myself, my name is Mariam Al-Mihir, Executive at Dubai Startup Hub. We are also joined by our guest panelists. Welcome Chris, Medea, and German. We are looking forward to hearing from you shortly. And we would like today's session to be an interactive one. Therefore, please do let us know if you have any questions along the way by using the chat box. Thank you all. Without any further ado, let's kickstart our session and switching to you, Natalia.
All right, thank you very much, Mariam. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. There is a number of less or more accurate predictions about when the artificial intelligence and machines are likely to dominate a workplace, determining the course of businesses. Until then, we speak of the paramount importance of human interaction and human relationship, which is the backbone of thriving and sustainable business. The most important aspect of any business today, as ever, relationship and trust. Trust comes from access to information and the experience. Dubai Startup Hub, the entrepreneurship department of Dubai Chamber of Commerce, piloted Co-founder Dubai program back in 2019, responding to ever-growing demand of our community. On the one hand, we had thirsty startups, stretched with little resources available on hand, yet with ambition to conquer the market. On the other hand, in Dubai, we always had a strong pool of talent supply, coming from the corporate employees who in recent years have been even more actively looking into pivoting their careers and starting something on their own. We had graduates from local universities not willing to work for big corporates anymore so much. And then finally, we have enjoyed a constant inflow of expat talent, looking at Dubai as the place to realize their ambition and potential. What was missing is the platform, a program and a service that would bring together these two groups of people together, focusing on building trust between the both. Today, we welcome the second cohort of the program, 11 amazing businesses keen to strengthen their leadership teams. Both of you, startups and potential candidates to become co-founders, you need to build trust. And this is why Co-founder Dubai educational and networking modules were designed in the way that they will give you first information through dedicated workshops with legal and HR experts, and experience brought to you by people who actually walked in your shoes, experienced highs and lows when it comes to onboarding co-founder and managing those relationships with the co-founders. Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome to today's virtual event, where we will share information, we share the experiences, and hopefully we'll start building the trust. And now, I'll pass mic to Kim, who will walk through the details of today's session and what to expect. Kim, mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Natalia. And again, warm welcome to everyone that's joining today's call. We have two different audiences with us for this session. Businesses, as Natalia mentioned, that are looking for co-founders, and individuals that have the right skill set and experience to become business partners for these startups. So for the next hour, you'll be hearing from 11 fantastic companies who are participating in this year's cycle of Co-founder Dubai. Following which, we will move on to a panel discussion, an opportunity to hear from experienced founders and investors on their journey of building successful startups in Dubai and beyond, and also onboarding multiple founders in this region. And last but not least, we will be utilizing the last hour for you to get to know the business founders that you have applied to work for. These founders will be available in breakout rooms from 11 till 12 to answer any questions that you may have. So please, we ask you just to be prepared for this section, and we highly recommend that you take the opportunity to discover more about these roles. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our first startup founder to the virtual stage, Faisal Ashawawa, founder of Believe Nutrition. Welcome, the mic is yours.
Hi everyone, great to meet you all and great to be on this workshop. So my name is Faisal Ashawawa. I'm founder of Believe Nutrition, which is a well-being and lifestyle coaching program aimed at helping people live a healthier and happier lifestyle. We do this through our what I like to call a no dieting coaching app called Nourish by Believe Nutrition, which allows people to gain personalized and holistic coaching, again, to be their healthiest selves and create long-term changes to their health through creating positive eating habits. So yeah, I'm looking for a CMO or a CFO, preferably a CMO at this stage, as I'm looking to really take my business to the next level and be able to scale it. So really looking forward to meet you all, and for those who are interested, and yeah, I look forward to the workshop.
Kim, I guess we missed, you're muted.
Sorry, Story Kali? Sadia, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to Sadia in a moment. Perhaps she's just having some tech issues as well. Sana, welcome, MENA speakers. If you can kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Sana Sam, and I'm the founder of MENA Speakers. It is the leading place for speakers, the bureau for speakers in the region, where if you're looking for like a motivational speaker or inspirational speakers or experts, then you connect with us and we source you the right experts to your stages. What we have done now is that we have completely digitized the offline business, which is done over the phones and in meetings, to creating a marketplace called Experts Market that completely digitizes the whole experience. And within a few clicks, you can gain access to experts and speakers, which you can then invite to your stages, to your virtual stages, or even for like an advisory role over a 1 hour voice over IP call. Now, I am looking for a CTO who has experience in the tech world, ideally PHP, because we built it on custom PHP, but also has extensive experience in building a marketplace and dealing with investors and really creating value for investors. So you could call it a product manager as well. So that's what we're looking for. And I'm looking forward to having somebody join us on this really exciting journey that even at its MVP has received a lot of traction and even an award. So we're excited to have a winning team join us.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Sana, and hope you have this co-founder on today's call. Next up, we have Asif Maglu, founder of Hikayati. Asif, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Asif. I'm the founder of Hikayati Books. Hikayati means my tales or my stories. So we personalize storybooks for children to boost their morale. Traditionally, there's been a lot of stereotyping in storybooks. So we want to give every child the opportunity to be the hero. And that's what we do. We've been going on for the last 4 months now. We're looking for a CTO to develop and take the technology even further, because we've already had technology developments, but we want to further enhance it. So that's who we are looking for. And hopefully I can meet someone here who sort of has that sort of drive and passion to take children's morale growth to the next level, and look forward to the workshop. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I believe Mohammed is from Virgo is running a little late. So we'll actually go back to, we have Sadia now with us. Welcome. Good morning, Sadia. If you would like to introduce your business story, Kali.
Hi, good morning. Apologies, I had some technical issues. So Storically is a platform that creates personalized books, but we have a very specific mission. We want, I say it is to help children connect with their history and heritage. So we create personalized books to preserve personal history and amplify diversity, because my mission is really to build empathy, to build understanding of different cultures between children. We have two types of products. One is the conventional personalized books where we create the content and children sort of personalize it with their names, something like this. And the other is where we encourage people to write and share stories from their lives and personal stories, like things your grandmother used to tell you or something from your history and culture, and we convert those into books. I have a CTO and I see myself as the content creator and the creative side of the business. What we really need in our team is a very strong marketing person who can help us explain the concept to the market, to build awareness, to, ultimately get customers, but really to promote the mission. It's a very mission-based, social kind of a business that I'm trying to build here.
Awesome. Thank you for the great introduction there, Sadia. Okay, next up, we have the founder of Pharma Courses, Pharma Global, Elena Vachuntina. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to present my startup over here. The story of this project started in 2016 when we launched the same platform in my motherland in Russia and CIS countries. And from 2019, we are launching the platform Pharma Course here in the MENA region, being based in Dubai. What it is, this is an edtech platform that connects all together pharmaceutical companies and healthcare retail like pharmacies and hospitals. And the main basics of connection is the mandatory continuing medical education. So on the one hand, we provide the latest expertise in pharma, in medicine to the healthcare specialists to help them to increase their qualification. And on the other hand, we provide the connection to these specialists to pharmaceutical companies. As I have already said, we have already approved these concepts in another markets, and we have created already the project who is the market leader currently, and that has more than 38,000 of healthcare retail on board. And from 2019, we are making the same project over here, being based on in Dubai. And by now, we have already onboarded more than 8,000 of healthcare retail from all the MENA region, from 22 countries of the MENA region. And we are extremely ready for commercialization of our project, and we have already made the proof of all concepts. So right now, we need a really strong market leader, really strong CMO who is about to take responsibility on commercialization side, who will create and who will scale the selling channels let's go to the moon all together.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Elena. Next up, we have Sonia Asher, founder of nutrical.
Hi everyone, good morning. Like Kim said, I'm Sonia Asher, the founder of nutrical. We are GCC's first food intelligence startup. Our vision is to be able to match consumers' preferences, health goals, lifestyle goals to food and to food products. Wherever they're buying it, be it food delivery apps, be it in store in a supermarket. So that's what we're going towards. We're just over 1 year old now, and despite COVID and how it hit the food industry, we've seen that the food industry understands the value of this. And so we're looking to expand and pivot. And for that, I'm looking for CTO, of course, with the right technology experience, startup experience, but someone who's driven and who can bring the vision to life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonia. On to our next founder, Hamama Al-Mansouri, founder of Braidbox. Welcome, Hamama, if you want to kindly share what it is your startup does.
Yeah, unmute. All right, I was muted. Hello, everybody. I'm Hamama Al-Mansouri. I have not chose this name. It was given to me like everything else, but I have chosen to create this business. What am I supposed to dive into? Yes, I really do. Let me speak just slightly about Braidbox. So I'm trying to dig deep into people's heads with Braidbox. It's we're doing affirmations in our services menu. We're letting people try something that they just labeled as African. There's a lot of white people who are doing braids just because we're just talking to them. It's fine. It's not something that is strictly like African. It's very weird that people are not really open to try new things, and until you just talk to them, you know, they have so much things that are built in their heads that are really stopping them from trying things. I'm not saying braids and like a lot of things as well, but going back to what I'm looking for somebody who would do strategic plans to where we can take Braidbox. I see Braidbox in each beach of whether Emirates, Northern Emirates, whether in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, and I really do need the. Excuse me. I need the financial support and the strategic part, because I'm really new to. Yes, I am from. I'm from Abu Dhabi. I'm from UAE. I am Emirati, but I'm not really. I'm not really familiar with how this country works. There's so much restrictions on where you're going to do business, where you're going to open just braid hair. There's so many restrictions. Like if I wasn't, sometimes I do think, should I take Braidbox and go somewhere else? But then I really wanna build something here. I really wanna make some change here. And yes, that's about it. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamama, for the very honest overview of your business, and best of luck in growing the braiding services. Next up, we have Gaurav Oberoi, founder of Happy Samples. Welcome, Gaurav.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dubai Chambers, for this opportunity. Who doesn't love free stuff? And who doesn't love to try before they buy? So we started Hamples because we had to buy stuff just to try it and understand that this is not a right fit for us. So Hamples, the short form of Happy Samples, was born in 2019. I and my wife started that. We are a team of 7 people. What we do is we give the opportunity to people try before they buy. We are a discovery platform where you discover new products, new brands, new items, services, and digital stuff. You can take everything for free. If you like it, you can come and buy. So we are growing very fast. We have onboarded over 50 brands in the countries, including the PepsiCos and the Unilevers of the world. We have a decent user base who is ordering our stuff every day, and we end up selling the products as well because you love it, you want to buy it, and most of the stuff is exclusively available with Hamples. We have done some decent partnerships in the past with to acquire customers with the government bodies and with multinational companies. I'm looking for a CTO to take our platform from a normal e-commerce to a next-gen application where it's more gamified. And I'm looking for a COO who can take over my responsibilities of day-to-day job, and I can focus on a bigger opportunity, taking the business to Saudi and to the US. Happy to meet you guys. And I see a lot of people are in demand for CTO. So let's see what's in store for us. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gaurav. Welcome, Ibrahim Mohammed, founder of Parfumery.
Hi, thank you for having us. Thank you, Kim. Hope you can all hear me. So yeah, I'm Ibrahim. I'm the founder of Parfumery. Parfumery is all about bespoke perfume experiences. So traditionally, perfumes in the industry have all been very straightforward. Yes, there are brands out there that people, just flock to. And a huge use case for perfumes has been gifting. And when it comes to gifting, you could do something very simple and a lot of retailers do this. You could go and get your name etched on a bottle to gift it. And we saw an opportunity there to really do something that was personalized, that was bespoke. And personalization is really kicking up in the industry in all sectors, different businesses. So we thought, why not try and do something with perfumes? I had been in the perfume industry before in the manufacturing side, and we used to get a lot of inquiries for low volumes or even individual pieces. So we thought of creating a website where people could come on, they could personalize their perfume and order from from there. We're about a year old. We have fairly good traction. People who use us love us. They keep coming back. And as it so happens that we're very involved with the operations, because it's me and my wife who manage the business, and we're obviously involved with the manufacturing of it and getting the orders fulfilled. So what we're looking for is a marketer, a marketing genius or a marketing whiz, someone that can really help us go to the next level, reach out, make strategic partnerships with different companies, with different, basically help us go to the next level. So really excited to be here, and looking forward to meeting some exciting candidates.
Ibrahim, thank you very much, and great to see another homegrown family business emerging. And then last but not least, we have our final founder, Hanadi El Sayed, founder of Gig3. The mic is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Hanadi. I'm the co-founder of Gig3. Well, Gig3 is basically the Airbnb for your vetted, top-notch expert and C-level professionals. We bring them closer to clients who want to create immediate impact through the projects, for their project-based or gig style work. Gig3 is typically for those highly achieved experts and C-suite individuals who have really, who enjoy this flexible lifestyle, want to work with multiple industries, and they are, they sit on massive experience and knowledge that they are ready to sort of gig out in this new way of work. What we are at the moment, we've launched our MVP last month. We are continuing to test our product, our tech product, which is algorithm-based type of technology, for the next 6 months. In the meantime, we would like to onboard with us a CTO who's really, we look at him as a strategic partner to us in Gig3, simply because this individual would be accompanying us on our journey in the technology strategy or the product strategy, the innovation strategy that needs to go side by side and hand in hand with our business strategy. So somebody who is ready, who has of course, a profound technology background or probably software development, but at the same time is deeply rooted in business context. So he has worked with businesses before in similar roles. And like I said, it's a strategic partner, meaning that we're looking for the long run. It is not, we're not seeking a product manager per se, but more of like a strategic leader who can who can even take our strategy right to our board and partners and investors. So we're really looking forward to this opportunity, and thank you for Dubai Chamber for this startup program. And hopefully I'm sure we're going to meet some star right, top talent star experts, the same caliber we onboard on Gig3. I'm sure that we will come across those through you guys.
Thank you, Hanadi, and we hope so too. And again, dear founders, those of you who have applied to work with one of these businesses on today's call, in the next 30 minutes, you will have the opportunity to very much engage with these businesses and switch on your cameras and ask any questions you may have for these companies. But for now, let us kickstart our panel session for the day. So please do join me in welcoming our 3 startup founders. We have Medea Nocentini, co-founder of Companies Creating Change. We have Gussakovskiy, co-founder of both Digital Falcon and Top Stretch. And last but not least, we have Chris Thomas, co-CEO and co-founder of Eureeca. So welcome, guys, and thank you for joining us this morning. It would be great if you could just firstly introduce yourself and briefly tell us about your startup business. So I think in this case, we'll do ladies first. Perhaps I can pass the mic to you, Medea.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Natalia, and the full team at Dubai Chamber for inviting us. I'm very excited about seeing Co-founder Dubai relaunched. It's a very important program. It's finding a co-founder, or in general, finding key team members. It's probably the most difficult thing for each founder. And I'm very happy to share the experience I had so far with C3. It's a platform that supports social entrepreneurs that was founded in 2012 as a community project. And then step by step, it became a much bigger deal, and now we are backed by HSBC on our flagship program. We have worked with a lot of companies launching their own programs in entrepreneurship. So it's been quite of a journey. We pivoted many times. We are now in the middle of an expansion to different continents, so it's quite exciting. This has always been I would say a part-time passion because I've been in corporate for a very long while and before that in consulting. It's only recently that I joined a VC firm called Global Ventures. You might have heard of them. I just joined as a COO, so it's finally a job that kind of feel very complementary to what C3 is all about. Thank you, Kim.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Medea, and for joining us. German, I'll pass the mic to you next.
Hi, everyone. So my name is German. I'm a founder of Digital Falcon Top Stretching and several other companies. So over the course of the past 11 years in the business, I have started around 5 international ventures with 5 co-founders. So I would like to share my experience with you all about the good and the bad sides that I had with the co-founders. So that could help you, finding the right co-founder, which criteria do you choose to analyze, then the exact role that your co-founder will play in your business. So Digital Falcon is basically a multimedia performance marketing firm, and Top Stretching is the largest chain of the stretching studios around the world. I'm also founder of the Next Fit, which is a fitness platform. I saw there were several health and wellness startups today, so that would be interesting also to share the experience. Also share my experience during the COVID, the pivot and transformation time for all businesses around the world, but particularly for us. So pleasure to meet you all, and please ask me any question that you have in particular, and I would be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, German. And over to you, Chris.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for inviting me on this panel. My name is Chris. As Kim kindly mentioned, I'm the co-founder, co-CEO of a business called Eureeca. What Eureeca is an equity crowdfunding platform based here in Dubai, but operates in various markets around the world. That ultimately, our job is to hold the hand of the entrepreneur through that entire fundraising journey and help them get funded, mainly through angel investors, but raising up to around $1 or $2 million per deal. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life and therefore have set up many businesses and have always had co-founders. And so, yeah, as German says, I can give you my perspectives on, from a personal basis as an entrepreneur, the good, bad and ugly when it comes to co-founder relationships, but also from a Eureeca perspective with my professional hat on, can give you some perspectives in terms of how investors look at a co-founder relationship and how important that is. I mean, for what it's worth, in summary, my view is having a co-founder is incredibly important. It's something that I, as an entrepreneur, have always needed. It's very lonely at the top when you're a single entrepreneur and a single founder. You're always trying to change gears and put the best, gloss on a bad situation, and it's often nice to have someone else to share that vulnerability with. And so I very much recommend it, and look forward to discussing this with you further.
Thank you, Chris. And whilst you were speaking, I think I'll direct the first question at you and actually take it from the Eureeca perspective rather than your personal. What kind of questions should these founders expect when fundraising? And have you seen any situations where a deal's actually collapsed because the investors have actually doubted the co-founder team dynamic?
So from an investor perspective, it's important to firstly, consider what is your investor audience. So when you're looking at angel investors, and for you, if you guys are raising anything, certainly in this region, anything below $1 million, I would be raising it from angel investors rather than VCs. Sorry, Medea. And in that respect, angels they're less sophisticated or less formulaic in their investment approach. And so we'll have less perspectives on whether there should be a co-founder in place and less means to assess whether that co-founder dynamic is viable. But from a VC perspective, absolutely, it's often crucial. It's hard to pin down a deal that has failed because of not having a co-founder, because VCs aren't that open. But in many cases, have we seen a situation where a VC has been willing to invest only if a co-founder is brought on, or someone in the team is effectively elevated to a position of co-founder. And the reason is often very simple. In the VCs and professional investors are looking to de-risk the investment. And there's a continuity risk if there's only one of you. If you get hit by a bus tomorrow, or are not hit by a bus, but out of action for a few weeks, there needs to be someone else steering the ship. VCs invest, as you know, in the jockey rather than the horse, and it's obviously beneficial to them to have a number of jockeys. So, I mean, for the point I'm making is, I would suggest that it's not binary. It's not, if you don't have a co-founder, you're not going to be able to raise money. But what I would say, if you look at it slightly differently, is that when you are raising money, you are going to be under a set of obligations. One of those may be from a VC, we want you to get a co-founder. And let me take it from me. It's much better for you to be finding a co-founder in your own time, prior to any discussions with a VC, rather than do it when a VC is breathing down your neck, because they're going to want to have likely some input into that process, and you don't want that. You get it done long before you're even starting this discussion with the VCs, because you don't want them to have any control over that decision-making process. If they do, it'll be a co-founder that you're bringing in under duress almost. That co-founder may feel that they're more loyal to the VC rather than you as a founder. And so there's various dynamics at play. So get all that stuff out of the way early, and then raise money if you are going through VCs.
Thank you, Chris. That was a great answer to cover the financial side. My next question to Medea, actually, you've recently onboarded a new founder in the last 12 months. Question on the legal considerations. When did you actually finalize the co-founder agreement, or when did you at least start to discuss the legal elements for this person joining your business?
Look, just to give some context, so we are two co-founders. Myself, I started in 2012, and then Annalisa came on board in 2014, and I can share some more details on the structure of that agreement, if you wish. The new CEO that we have now, which is Lodi, has not joined as a co-founder. She's actually a specialist on a few specific functions, if you wish, and she's with us on a, I would say, on a project and part-time basis. She's very senior, and so she's leading the most important part of our business right now. But she has not joined as a co-founder. And I want to give a piece of advice in general. Every time you marry somebody as a co-founder, because it's frankly as if you really want to build a company that lasts, that decision is probably as important as the decision of marrying somebody. I think it's a very similar dynamic and a very similar type of relationship, just with different goals perhaps. So when you join as a co-founder, or when you choose a co-founder, it's very important to one, test the relationship beforehand for a while. So for example, before Annalisa became a co-founder, we had worked at least for a good 1.5 years together. She joined first as a volunteer, then she joined as a lawyer. For a while she helped on that, and then she worked on a specific project at C3 that was really pivotal for us, including our social enterprise mark certification and a few other things. And that was a very good testing period for us, not only for me to understand what kind of skills and complementary know-how she was bringing to the picture, but also to see if the relationship was working well. I would say that not every senior person you bring in needs to be from the get-go in a potential marriage relationship. So you can really acquire talent when you need for a certain period of time, with the same passion and the same support and the same level of commitment, depending on the incentives you put on the table, versus choosing somebody that will enter in partnership with you and take the very precious thing you have, which is equity. And I can spend some more time on how to structure the equity vesting schedule and so forth. We can go into a little bit more technical details, but bottom line, one, always test the relationship first, no matter how good the profile of the person that you are bringing in is, how desperately you need the skills that this person is bringing. Always give yourself a good year, if possible, of testing, because again, you cannot judge from the first 3 to 4 months a relationship, and then focus not only on the technical side of that role, but also on the values, on the behaviors, on the dynamic that this person will bring to the team. So there is no size fits all kind of formula, but it's very important, I think, to test the relationship first and never take decisions on the basis of a few meetings or a couple of months of interaction.
Thank you, Medea, for the practical advice. And I'll pass the mic across to German now. German, you've obviously onboarded multiple founders across different business sectors. What criteria do you tend to use when selecting your co-founders? Like how is it weighted?
Well, I think to start with, finding the co-founder is not the exact science. There is more psychology involved rather than analytical skills. There's a lot of feelings as well. You know, it's how you feel about the person, is what Chris rightly mentioned. your co-founder is like your psychological partner, is the one who is going to support you, you know, in the hard times. And it's actually in the hard times you see the person for who he is, his nature, basically. So to choose the co-founder, I think it's about how to find, how to choose, and what to look forward. I would suggest using 16 personality test, and maybe astrology as well, if somebody is really into that. It shows, it really shows the skill set, the nature of the person. There's no right or wrong personality. There is just personality that will match with yours. So I think that could be a first step. Also, as Medea mentioned, it's very important to take some time before onboarding a person. Take a time, you know, to work with them, see what problems could arise with that, and then make a decision. Over the past 10 years, in our peak time, right before the COVID, we had around 120 employees. And by that time, we have managed to delegate all our partners' responsibilities. So we were able to concentrate on more strategic options. But when partners are involved in day-to-day operational activity, I think it's very important that you segregate your duties and areas of responsibilities. You have to know yourself very well to understand what it is that you like to do, which area of the business you have more skill set, and then because otherwise, this is what happened with me. I had a burnout so many times, and I didn't understand the root and the source, and I mean, eventually I realized is because we were trying to do everything together instead of trying to separate the responsibilities. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, German. And I think that perhaps the audience might have questions to add to this, and we'll open it up to the floor. I saw one co-founder mentioning that they can help out with Myers-Briggs and astrology, should any of the founders want to go down that route. So excellent. Just because I'm conscious of time and I want to open the floor for these questions I just mentioned, I think last question to all founders. One piece of advice for the 11 businesses just about to potentially onboard co-founders. Anything that you wish you had perhaps done differently with hindsight? Chris, I'll ask you first.
Well, I mean, it's a good question. I've got lots of suggestions. As both Medea and German said, it's important to test this out, right? But I mean, we're talking about co-founders here, but there is ultimately a difference between an emotional difference between onboarding a co-founder and onboarding a founding employee or somebody that you're willing to yield equity to, but it is taking a significant role in your business going forward. And so it's important for you as a founder, as the entrepreneur, to determine what are you after here. If you are after a co-founder, you need somebody that is they don't have to come at the beginning, right? You're established businesses, but they need to come in sufficiently early at a time where you are either pivoting or you're looking to develop a certain element of the business, and that they need to be 2 feet in, right? You need somebody that not only is there at a relatively early stage of a development, but also is willing to, give you as much commitment as you're giving to the business, right? And so, but that requires you also, as Medea says, it's a marriage. To also, you need to give, right? Which means that you've been used to being in total control. You're going to need to allow the individual coming in to be able to, find their own direction, push back, and really, feel that they're not just an employee, that they are part of this company going forward, because you're looking for a long-term marriage, a long-term relationship, and therefore it's a two-way street. If you want an employee, as Medea says, you can bring in functional leads and support with the right incentive package that is going to get you where you need to. But if you're looking for a co-founder, or an early founding employee, someone that you can throw ideas around, you can be vulnerable with, and is someone that you can trust is still going to be there in the next 2 to 3 years. It requires us as entrepreneurs to really change our mindset in terms of what we're willing to give, both emotionally, and physically to this relationship. And within that in mind, try and then I've been lucky in all of the founding relationships I've had with my businesses. They've been people that I've known for a long time. So they're either friends or ex-colleagues. So I already have, there's a basis of relationship, right? There's a trust that's been built up and it's a foundation of knowledge of each other. But it was very important for us as friends or ex-colleagues going into the business to understand that we needed to have time to not be co-founders, right? So, me, Sam, my business partner at Eureeca, we are best of friends. And so we have a deal that if we're meeting up for a beer at 8 p.m, we're not going to talk about business. So we're not, constantly concerned that there's going to be a friction or a discussion about something that came up in the day. We're giving time to be able to develop our relationship outside of work, as well as focus on the work stuff at different times.
Thank you very much, Chris. Anything to add, Medea? Any words of wisdom, piece of advice for the businesses?
Yes, a couple of things. Again, once you got lucky and you met that person you want to bring in as a co-founder, and then you decide how to distribute or to share your equity. A vesting schedule will be something that is distributed across a few years, so don't give that right away. Again, it's very important to sit and draft a shareholder agreement that kind of encompasses the potential highs and the potential lows, because again, in a relationship of 6 to 7 years, perhaps 15 years, there are moments where everything goes well, and there are moments where you might have some divergent views or just changes in your personal life or in the co-founder personal life that require some discussions. Having thought through the mechanism on how to take decisions in those circumstances, it's very important. And I give you an example. When Annalisa moved to London from Dubai, that was a couple of years ago, that was a tricky moment for us as friends, as co-founders, as partners in crime, and having defined 5 years before how certain things would have panned out in that event has helped us tremendously, because at that point, when we discussed those mechanisms, if you wish, we didn't have an emotional attachment to anything. We didn't go through, in that specific moment, we weren't emotional. We were just thinking things through very clearly. So when the moment happened, everything was already, maybe not in details, but the mechanism to decide how to go forward were already discussed many years before. So when you onboard a co-founder, you decide a vesting schedule. It's very, very important to define all those potential outcomes and mechanisms that might not be very pleasant to discuss at the beginning of a relationship. It's like a prenup conversation. You don't really want to be too gloomy or too negative, but it's very important to discuss those things up front when there are no emotions involved. And the second message I want to give is setting up a business, no matter what kind of organization it is, and bringing it to a different levels or to multiple different levels is a very heavy thing to do. It's a very tough journey. It has a lot of ups where you feel at the fullest of your energy and it's phenomenal emotions. And then there are the very lows where you might even think of, you're even thinking of giving up. Having a sparring partner that has gone through the ups and downs with you, and sometimes rebalances a little bit your perception of events and circumstances, it's super important. I don't think C3 will be where it is if I had pulled it off by myself. And even from London, Annalisa is always super present. She has a slightly different role now, much less operational, but having her as a sounding board and a legal, she's a corporate lawyer, so as a legal support, it's been phenomenal. So I highly recommend to start your search now, and until you don't find the right partner, to keep searching. It's a nice setting to have a sparring partner.
Thank you very much, Medea. I appreciate all your comments. Last but not least, Gurman, any final remarks, final advice?
Yeah, I think as far as I mentioned, Medea and Chris have been lucky to have their friends become their co-founders. I think it's great if you manage that, if both you and your friend have the same vision for the future. It wasn't the case for me, so I built a friendship during the business with my partners, and I think it's a case for majority of the people. Finding the co-founder will not always be the friends. I mean, it's the first area that you look into when you search for a co-founder. So it will be your friends, your network. But if you approach the subject more structurally, I guess you would need definitely some reviews about the person from the places he worked in. I think it's very important. You should analyze the personality of that person, whether it matches yours. So for example, me and my partner Anton in the Digital Falcon, we're very different, like different sides of extreme. I'm a full extrovert and he's a full introvert, and we always balance each other. If I'm very energetic about some idea which would be very risky and financially heavy, he would try to balance me in that aspirations. That part is important. But of course, I mean, a lot of this is a leap of faith. So you try. I think it's important that you try as much as you can, working with different people on different projects, and you will, I think, organically realize who suits you more. And again, I would, in my 11 years of business experience, I think co-founder is all about psychological partnership rather than technical partnership, because I mean, technical skills we all can learn, right? I mean, in the age of the internet, we can become experts in any field. It's about what your personality wants to do that matters. So that's why you choose the co-founder. I would suggest based on the personality. And of course, as Medea rightly mentioned, all the partnership needs to be properly structured in the shareholder agreement, and you try to foresee all possible outcomes, various scenarios, good and bad, and what you will do about it. Because when you trust your partner, there's no problem writing or signing such a document.
Thank you very much, Gurman. And again, like, to be able to meet these new individuals for the first time and gauge personality matches. This is why when we move on to the networking shortly, we'll all have our cameras on and we'll actually get to have that first initial face-to-face time where you can meet some of the founders that have applied for your position. So a big thank you all to the panelists for your insights and contribution to today's session. Before you leave, I just want to open up the floor for any questions. The audience from both our 11 startups and the founders on the line, please do speak up, write your messages in the chat if you have any questions for our 3 founders today. I haven't seen any coming through yet, apart from Prashant can help again with the Myers-Briggs and astrology. Okay, and any questions from our 11 businesses? Have anything for the founders? Okay. So Mujahid has mentioned, what are the roles and responsibilities of the co-founders? Gurman, I'll pass this question to you. It's very much dependent on the business and what you need, but if there's anything you feel like you want to add or contribute to that question.
Yeah, I think initially the partners are responsible for everything in the business, and it's about trying that you try various aspects of the business, legal, financial, marketing, expansion, operational, etc., etc. And then you try to sit and discuss with your partner what you like to do more, all right, what you're better at, and try to justify it and see if you match on that. Over the course of the business growth, the responsibilities of the partners are decreasing because you try to delegate majority of the day-to-day repeating operational work to your employees. But I think the key roles of the partners are strategic growth, strategic investment, legal aspects, financial, of course, and the marketing. Those 5 pillars, I think that partners will always be responsible for.
Thank you, German. And
just to add to that, in terms of German's answer, he gave a few questions ago. There is almost zero functional difference between a co-founder and a senior employee, right? We have a job to do and we do it. It's more emotional. It's about having somebody that is there as a founder, as a co-founder, as a founding partner, whatever you want to call them, and it's going to be there through thick and thin. Employees can come and go. Employees there's a social and a legal contract with their company, but at the end of the day, there's definitely fragility in that relationship, whereas a co-founder is someone that you believe emotionally is going to ride this out with you. Entrepreneurs, we have ups and downs, as Medea said, but really the successful businesses are ones that persisted, that stuck it out, and you want someone on board that is going to stick it out with you. In terms of what they're doing, you're bringing on technical competencies and CMOs or CTOs. That's very specific, but there is zero functional difference between an employee and a founder there. It's about that emotional connection and temperament, I'd say.
Thank you very much, Chris, and hope that answers your question, Mujahid. I think the next question is fantastic from Sonia, one of our 11 business founders, and I will pass this to Medea, if you don't mind. Apart from the obvious interview questions, about your experience and skill set, is there anything that you kind of ask when you're hiring or about to potentially hire someone, just to, set them apart from the rest?
I think a key question, and maybe you start with that before you get into more technical stuff, is really what is the long-term vision or the long-term desire of that person vis-a-vis their success, vis-a-vis what they want to achieve in life, their purpose. I do think no matter what's your vision and values, it's very important to find somebody that share the same ambitions, that share the same level of commitment for those ambitions. And a couple of questions on, what would you love to achieve in the next 10 years? Where do you see yourself being with or without this experience with us now? It's important, I think, to see if whatever the candidate or the potential partner say is in line with what you had in mind. Sometimes you start talking about your company and describing your opportunity, and then the person on the other side will adapt their thinking and their vision to what you have just described. If you let them talk first about why they're there and what they're expecting from such an experience, I think that would give you a better perception on how divergent or convergent your visions are. I do always this mistake. I talk too much at the beginning of a conversation, and I learned throughout the years it's probably not the best way to start that type of conversation. It's much better to let other people share their feelings, their thoughts, their ambitions, and then see if there is a common ground, I think.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, back to the personality as well, the MBTI that Prashant mentioned, and the 16 personality would be something also very interesting and curious, because I think those when I first did it for myself, this test told me more about me than I know about myself, and which is true, you know, I realized it. So this is also something, some unusual strategies that you could use. Actually, it's no longer unusual. The federal governments in the states, the financial sector, like Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, all of them, they're using these tests to hire people. So it's not something superficial, it's a practical thing.
Thank you very much, Goman. I feel like maybe you have shares in Myers-Briggs or something. I will pass the next question over to Chris because it was directed straight at you from one of our 11 businesses. Good question from Gaurav. What do you actually look for at Eureeca? What do you look for in startups?
Well, I mean, we don't sign checks, right? We're not investors. What we are is we're effectively a platform that inspires and empowers that entrepreneur to shout as loudly as possible about the fact they're raising money, and hopefully close that round via the platform. So our job is to help you as an entrepreneur get what we call fit for funding, to help you with the funding narrative, the pitch deck, all the bits and pieces that you need to have in place, then help you with the campaign to help you access an investor base, and then take care of all the heavy lifting at the end in terms of negotiation on shareholders agreements and term sheets and corporate structures and investor relations and all that painful stuff after there. So, I mean, we don't fund businesses ourselves. We're a platform that supports the access to investors. I mean, what we look for, though, without going into too much detail, is we are focused on post-operational, post-revenue businesses. So not super early stage stuff, but businesses that we feel that have either enough of a network themselves or have a product or service that people can connect with emotionally. Crowdfunding platforms ultimately are about engaging angel investors, people, and people invest not often based on an Excel spreadsheet, but are based on having some sort of emotional connection or hook to the business. So that's what we look for. So it works much better for consumer-facing businesses than a cement factory in Sharjah, because people need to really engage it. But we look at all businesses, and we try and give as much goodwill as possible, so that where we can't help you directly, we'll see if we can push you in the right direction of someone that can help you, and or give you some advice on the way. So, by all means, reach out and we can have a longer conversation about this.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Chris. And I think on that subject, because I'm conscious of your time, and we also want to have an opportunity for the networking of the founders. If it's okay with yourself, Chris, Medea and German, if we can perhaps add your email or your company email to our note this afternoon. And then anyone on the line, apologies if you haven't had your question answered, we'll share this via email later today, and you can reach out to Chris, Medea, German if you have any follow-up questions.
Please do so.
Yeah, please do.
And thank you for so again, thank you panelists for joining us, and we're coming to an end of the first part of today's session. Therefore, I'm going to pass the mic over to my colleague Mariam to let us know what's next.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck. Bye.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you all. This concludes the first part of today's Co-Founders Dubai session, and we hope you found the information useful. In terms of next step, on the screen now, you will see the details on the breakout rooms where our 11 businesses will be spending the next hours, should you wish to ask any questions directly. So grab a coffee and join us in these rooms in the next 10 minutes. I myself, I'll be staying on this call should you have any questions about the network session. Then thanks all and have a great day.
And thank you, Mariam. Just to add, guys, we're a little late with the timing, so feel free to grab a coffee. Myself, Aisa and Faisal from Dubai Startup Hub will be joining the rooms in the next 5 minutes. So I suggest we all join back at 11:15, and our startup businesses will also be in these rooms for you. Thank you very much.